Alright guys, so my brain feels like it's just all, this is gonna be a weird analogy, but it feels like it's all scrambled up in there. Do you ever feel like that? I feel like my head is so scrambled right now, just with everything today. Like the only time I sat down today was to eat dinner. And of course when I was driving to and from the appointment. If I could just tell you everything that happened today, you would probably get exhausted from listening to my story, because it was crazy today. But I just wanted to kind of like talk with you guys a little bit about the appointment with the neurologist and kind of like go over, I think I'm going to do a separate video going more into detail, but I kind of just want to briefly touch on it since it's still kind of fresh in my mind and everything. So essentially the appointment was only to kind of go over the next step and treatment and kind of go over Nolan and all the information that they gathered from the biopsy, because I had told you guys when I talked to her on the phone the first time when she had given us the diagnosis that Nolan had Duchenne. She said that there was something very unique about Nolan, and I kind of got the gist of it, of what she told me over the phone, but we went over that more today and just kind of went over a whole bunch of stuff. We are supposed to be getting into a muscle clinic that will help us out so much, and I'll touch on this more, but that is really going to be our support, our foundation through all of this, because the muscle clinic will help us with a whole array of things. You know, the neurologist is kind of like set to what she can do, the geneticist is only set to what they can do, you know, and within their specialty. But the muscle clinic that specializes in muscular dystrophies will give us a whole array of information, help us with treatment, help us with just literally everything. So I'm really anxious to get into that, start getting Nolan going into that. So she kind of just explained like what to expect, what to look for, what is to come in the future, and just so much information. And before I go, I wanted to kind of, like I said, go over what is so special of Nolan. Hold on, she gave me a lot of paperwork, so this might be confusing to some, and it's still a little confusing to me. You know, she did say that I had definitely done my homework, definitely done my research, and I knew a lot of what she was talking about. But when it comes to genetics and actual genes and like sequencing of genes and duplication of genes, that's kind of where I get lost. But she explained it to the best way that she could. So first, Nolan had the duplication gene, came back negative. Then he had the sequencing, came back a variant of unknown significance. So that left us to the next step, which was the biopsy, to get answers why he was having the high CPK levels, which has a lot to do with muscular dystrophy. Well, high CPK levels can be for a lot of things. It's a common thing that goes hand in hand with muscular dystrophy. Okay, so I'm gonna try to explain this the best way that I can. So of course, you know, our body is made up of different genes, and there is a DMD gene specifically, and you know, every Duchenne boy has DMD, or the DMD gene, obviously, for obvious reasons. But there can be different ways that that gene is sequenced and that the genes fit together. That's why one of the treatments is called exon skipping. It's a treatment that will be able to skip that missing gene and will help with boys with Duchenne. So in Nolan's particular case with the sequencing, there has only been one other case out there in the database. Now that could be the case, like there could be, you know, other males out there that have it, that's not in the database, but there's only one in this specific database, and that individual actually lives in Singapore, which is interesting. So that is the interesting thing about Nolan, is that, you know, so far in this specific database there's only one other case like Nolan's. So that doesn't really give us much hope as far as like how that individual is doing and how they're progressing, because every boy is different with Duchenne. Every boy progresses differently. Some boys only live to be 19, some males live to be in their 40s, so it depends from each case. So, you know, with Nolan's, we do have more of a clear answer about his gene, his DMD, but it doesn't really give us a lot to go from. We're going to be kind of like learning as we go what's going to be the best treatment for him, how he progresses, all of that. Obviously there's going to be the common things. If you guys, if any of you guys, which I'm going to do a separate video about muscular dystrophy, you know, there are things that are going to happen, and those things are very common. So obviously we know that that's going to happen with Nolan medicine. Hopefully we'll prolong that. That's the goal, and that's what we hope for. We really don't know, you know, the specifics of it yet, but that was the one thing that I wanted to mention to you guys. So we are going to see the muscle clinic. We have an appointment with genetics the middle of June, and they will give us more answers as far as genetics go, like where this could have came from. Just go in more detail about that, because like I had told you guys, nobody in my family for decades that we know of has had any kind of muscular dystrophy. So even though I am a carrier, you know, some of these things can just pop up. Like really, it's like if you have a boy and you're a carrier, it's honestly just a 50-50 chance. So I'm anxious to see what the genetic counselor will tell us, because they'll give us more detail about all of this. But I just wanted to kind of leave that with you guys and just kind of update you. And I might make a separate video, and I might actually just cram it in after we see genetics, just so I can cram it all into one video. But I do want to make a separate video about Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and kind of like just a basic 101 video about it, because I have been getting a lot of questions, and I kind of just want to get the word out there and to get the knowledge out there about what it is. I feel like muscular dystrophy, like, people know about it, but not enough research has been really put into it. And we're actually very lucky in Nolan's case, because the advances in muscular dystrophy as of recently have like gone up. You can't say the same thing for 10-20 years ago. Like recently now, there has been a lot of research, there's been a lot of clinical trials, there's been a lot of new treatments coming out. So we're just gonna think about all that and weigh our options. And I'm already at 9 minutes. Oh my goodness, I don't know if I'm gonna keep this in this vlog. It might be too long. I might need to make a separate video. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but hopefully it will give you guys some more information on what's going on about Nolan, because I know I haven't talked about it in a while since making that video. I actually just got both kids in bed. It's almost 9 o'clock. I need to get the dishes done. I have not cleaned the dishes from dinner, and I need to take a shower, and then Ian's bringing me home a milkshake, because I told him I had a little rough day today, so I deserve a milkshake. Mothers out there, if you're having a long, rough day, just treat yourself. Don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel guilty about it. I know it's summer, I know it's bikini body time, but I don't care about that. I just want my milkshake. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for supporting us, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.